Hello Aquarius, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self to create the life that you deserve and desire? Friendly reminder that these are general readings and they are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation if there is anything, and to leave what does not. Last thing is that any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading or coaching session with me is in the description box below. All right, Aquarius. Let's see what we've got here. Let's jump on in. We're going to start with overall energy for your past, present, and future energy with oracle cards, and then I will dive deeper into the story with tarot as we progress with the reading. So let's start, Aquarius, with looking at what you guys have been dealing with. Oh, okay. Oh gosh. Okay, those. You have prosperity lies ahead. Step out of your comfort zone. So, being pushed out of your comfort zone in some way, being pushed into change, or taking a step into your comfort zone. You don't let your past hold you back. With the energy is gaining momentum, and then you have it's time to take action too. So I feel like this past energy was taking action to make change. And I think that with the prosperity lies ahead card, this is definitely an indication that it's going to pay off. I do know from experience that making change, taking steps toward change is always really uncomfortable, especially if we don't really want the change, or if we fear the change, or even if we don't. Change can be really scary because it requires us to trust ourselves, trust the universe, trust in the unknown. The unknown is like the scariest place for a human because the ego loves what it can predict and control, and it absolutely hates what it can't, which is gonna be obviously the unknown. So I do feel like you guys have been maybe on a bit of a journey, a bit of a ride here. But I do feel like you are headed in the right direction, even if you're doubting that or if it doesn't feel like that. All right, current energy for Aquarius. A personal issue reaches resolution. So there's some sort of issue, some sort of, I don't know if it's a circumstance or just an experience that you're dealing with that is causing you a lot of stress. Okay, I like that for you. You have nothing will come of this situation. So I feel like this is kind of, and then look at the bigger picture with conclusions are within reach. I feel like this is kind of that indication that I've really learned that the majority of what we worry about doesn't actually really come true. That doesn't necessarily mean that you shouldn't have worries, and I'm not saying, stop stressing, like it's fine, because that's not, you can't just stop stressing. You can't just stop thinking about it. It's not healthy. It's not a normal human thing. So I'm not saying don't feel the way that you're feeling, but I do feel like this is the universe asking you to trust the process and to, surrender over any fears, doubts, insecurities, or outcomes that you're stressed about, and to trust that things are going to work out in the best way for you, because I do absolutely believe that they are. I do also feel like there's a need to, I don't know if you're closing out a cycle. There's a need to stay aware right now. Obviously, we want to try to stay in a place of awareness as much as possible, but specifically with where you're at right now, Aquarius, there's a need to stay aware of not just the bigger picture, but the energies, the deeper energies at play, especially because a lot of times our outer world can really be an illusion, especially if we fall into fear and we fall into insecurity. Our outer world can start to reflect that back at us. And if we aren't careful, we're going to start to believe it. We're going to start to allow our fear and our insecurity and our stress and our anxiety to consume us, and that might hold us back in some ways. So staying aware, just staying cognizant of the ways that your fear might be showing up so that you can choose not to believe it as much. But what else does Aquarius, what can Aquarius expect moving forward? Confidence is your key to success. Emotions are running high. Expect powerful change. Okay. So I feel like what you can expect in this future energy is some sort of really powerful shift and powerful change. But I also feel like your ability to bring this into fruition is going to directly be dependent on your confidence and your ability to create it. So I feel like this is a shift toward this prosperity that you've been taking steps toward, or even being pushed toward. Maybe you're even unaware that you're being pushed toward more prosperity, especially because I just get this really intense energy that like you're not where you want to be, especially because I do feel like there is a lot of stress in your current energy about like your direction and where you're headed. I do believe and have learned that those periods where we're feeling lost or we're feeling stuck or we're feeling overwhelmed, like a lot of times we're supposed to really work through that energy. With this emotions are running high card, I feel like a lot of the emotions that we feel in association with our current experience are required or needing to be worked through or asking to be worked through, but not believed, which is why I was saying and one of the things that is incredibly important just on a spiritual journey, on a growth journey, is not believing everything you think and feel. It doesn't make your thoughts or your feelings invalid, but remember that your brain is wired based on past experiences. And when you're trying to create new or you're trying to create better, you have to learn to rewire and overpower those like instinctual reactions to your reality. And I feel like that's where we have to learn that just because we feel a certain way right now, or because things seem a certain way right now, things are usually better than we think that they are. And also we might be creating like more stress and chaos for ourselves and our current energy by creating and projecting a certain story onto our reality. Because remember, our brain is always projecting a story. It's always telling us, some sort of story. So if the story is, I'm undeserving, I'm incapable, I can't get there, I'm not enough, it's going to make it really difficult for you to keep showing up for yourself and for whatever it is that you're trying to create. So the more, and that's where I feel like the current energy coming back to like staying very aware is important. Staying aware of your thoughts, keeping track of the way that you're responding or reacting to your reality, just trying to show up in the best way that you can. And if you are doing that, I feel like you need to know that like you're doing enough, you're on the right path. I think that you're closer than you think to the things that you want. But let's see, Aquarius, overall theme of this reading for Aquarius. I feel like this deck, or this like the theme, when I pull it, it always adds a little bit of depth and clarity for me. Because obviously when I'm piecing together a reading, it starts out kind of vague. Then we get deeper as we pull more cards. But this deck in particular, like pulling these types of cards really help. Overall theme of this reading for Aquarius. Guides with relief. Oh, and underneath here you have water. Okay. I feel like you guys are dealing with a lot of emotions right now. I mean, not just seeing the water card, but also that card that your emotions are running high. And I feel like you're needing to know that and I said this, I was kind of had a similar vibe in the Libra extended reading, actually. Just kind of this vibe of like, it's okay to relax a little bit. I think that there is a lot that's out of your control right now. And I know that when you're dealing with a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety about like a path or an outcome, telling you to relax isn't necessarily going to help. But I do feel like Spirit is really trying to provide you with some relief by letting you know that your path is very guided. Like you're very guided and protected through this period that you're going through. So if you feel lost or stuck, or, like you don't have all of the answers, just know you're not alone. You're going to have the right answers at the right time. I feel like there's a need to kind of surrender it over to something bigger than you right now, because you don't want your emotions to get the best of you. Sometimes your emotions can lead you down the wrong path, because again, if they're wired based on your past experience, you might end up recreating your past experience if you're constantly reacting to your emotions. Doesn't mean you're not supposed to experience them and that you shouldn't feel them, but a lot of times that's all that they're asking to be is felt. But that's kind of a complicated start, so let's dive deeper into this. Let's see, what is Aquarius dealing with, or what has Aquarius been dealing with in their past energy? Ooh. There you are, front and center in your own reading here. King of Swords, Eight of Wands in reverse, the Hermit in reverse, the Five of Swords. I mean, yeah, this is an energy of feeling really lost. I feel like some sort of change pushed you into this feeling really lost. And feeling lost can be like one of the worst things, especially when you feel so directionless. Sometimes it can put you into a very like heightened emotional state, like I feel like you're kind of dealing with. So that's completely understandable. The Hermit in reverse card is really this energy, though, of feeling really alone. And maybe you have been feeling this because, you know, sometimes when you're going through difficult transitions or difficult periods, it can really feel like nobody understands you, and like you have people that are there for you, but they don't really get it. And, you know, I think a lot of times it can feel very isolating. I know spiritual and growth journeys within itself can feel really isolating. So I know from experience what that's about. And I feel like that's why you have this guides card here, is you need to know that you're not alone. You do have a spiritual team that's got your back. But I do feel like this period, it does feel like this is happening for a reason. This Five of Swords, though, because I feel like you're really struggling to trust right now. You know, struggling to trust yourself. And this is past energy, but I feel like you're kind of still dealing with this in some way. But trust yourself, or trust the universe, or maybe even other people. There could be this energy of kind of pushing people away, maybe even an energy of self-isolation. But let's see. I want more on this Five of Swords. The Nine of Swords. There's so much anxiety and stress in this reading. And I take it from someone who's been diagnosed with an anxiety disorder. Like, it's not easy to kind of work through those feelings, but I do know from experience that the more that we work on trusting that everything is working out for our highest good, the easier it is to kind of bear the unknown. Is there anything else here? Yeah, because the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, this is very much an energy of feeling very ungrounded, feeling very unstable. Not that you are an unstable person, but I mean like your reality feeling very unstable, very unreliable. So I feel like you guys have been going through a pretty tough period, to be honest with you, a pretty even maybe darker period. But I do feel like things are going to get better. I mean, even kind of seeing this expect powerful change card, this kind of gives this energy of like light at the end of the tunnel. And I think that you might not see it right now, and it might be hard for you to believe in it, but I do feel like it's there. Man, yeah, this is just in general a very heavy energy. I don't know, but then you have this prosperity lies ahead card. So to me, it feels like you're being actually led to more abundance, more prosperity, more fulfillment than you were experiencing before. You know, I really have learned that sometimes we got to go through the lows to get to the highs, and the lower the low, usually the higher the high. And I think that the more that we kind of embrace all aspects of the journey, the easier it is to kind of wade through those difficult periods. But I know that that's so much easier said than done. So what does Aquarius need to know about their current energy? Look at the bigger picture. With a personal issue reaches a resolution. feel like your guides are trying to provide you with some relief. You know, paying attention to like angel numbers or little winks from the universe that are letting you know that they're there. You're not alone, even if it can feel like it sometimes. My goodness, Aquarius, you guys have been going through a lot. There's a lot of sadness, grief, disappointment, stress. Like, this reading is just full of challenge. And I think that sometimes can be so insanely, like, defeating when you just feel like it's just one thing after another. Let me get more here. And this reading might not be for everyone. This might specifically be for, it feels very specific. It feels like it's for a specific collective, part of the collective. But with this 5 of Cups, the 5 of Wands, and the 8 of Cups, I feel like the 8 of Cups is all about being in the middle of a journey. And I do feel like you are in the middle of a journey. And one of the things that we have to remember is that loss and failure are never destinations unless we allow them to be. Every single time we get kicked down, or life kind of knocks us down or holds us back, like, we have an opportunity to learn, heal, grow, evolve, to keep, moving forward and to keep showing up. And I know how challenging it can be and can feel after you've been dealing with just like periods of struggle. But I do feel like the universe is asking you to trust that things are working out better than you think, which might be a big ask. But I do feel like with this, look at the bigger picture. Like, with this, a personal issue reaches resolution. This to me is like a message of there is a solution, there is a resolution. Like, you're not going to be where you're at forever, even if where you're at right now feels like you've been in it forever. I do think that sometimes we as humans have a tendency to look at our life through the lens of our smaller self, through the lens of our ego self, and we start to look at our temporary circumstances, and we start to believe that they're going to last forever. But one of the things that I've learned is that all things are temporary, the good, the bad, and the more that we embrace the good and kind of surrender through the bad, the easier that life gets. And I feel like right now is just one of those times you're really being asked to surrender, to let go, to trust the process. And like, I feel like I almost feel like speechless in this reading. Like, just the energy that you're dealing with, it's like, I feel like there's so much heaviness in it that it's making it really hard for me to like, come on, just like pep talk it, because I feel like it's so heavy that it's like, it almost feels like my words are like falling flat in some way, because it's just like, how do you keep going when you've been struggling for so long? Like, I can't, I can't take away that struggle that you're going through, but I can tell you from personal experience that it does always get better. It really, really does. And I feel like that's what this future energy is all about. Things getting better, finding relief in a certain situation, especially if you've been like struggling financially or struggling, with your mental health or whatever the case might be. I do feel like there is a light at the end of this long, dark tunnel that you guys have really been going through here. So what can Aquarius expect in this future energy? This future, yeah, because there's the strength. This future energy does feel a lot lighter. It does. It feels a lot lighter. It feels a little brighter. The Lovers, is that upright? Yeah. The Strength, Lovers. What is this really talking about? The Knight of Pentacles. Slowly but surely, things are going to improve. Okay. I think that that's the biggest thing that you're needing to know. The biggest thing you're needing to know is that things are going to get better. And you can sit there and you can be like, well, I've been struggling for this many years, or I've been struggling for this long. And I think that regardless of how long your struggle has been, I do I do really feel like slowly but surely things are going to get better. But remember that the biggest aspect of this is that confidence is your key, especially with the Strength card. If you stop believing that things can get better, you're not going to be able to create better experiences for yourself. And that's why faith is so incredibly important, because it requires you to trust, even against all odds, that things can improve, that your life can improve, that your situation can improve, that things can get better. And I feel like right now, like especially based on what you guys have kind of been struggling with recently, things might feel really hopeless, or maybe you've been stuck in this hopeless mentality for a while. But I do very much feel that if you are focused, if you are doing the healing, if you're working on yourself, if you're doing what you can do to show up for yourself and for your future, this is literally saying slowly but surely things are going to get better. And I know that that might feel impossible for you to believe right now. And I think that that's what makes sometimes delivering these readings so hard, is you probably have a ton of things you can argue back in the comments. Well, this is going on, it's been lasting for this long, things never get better, this doesn't happen. And I want to just encourage you that all of those things that you're so quick to say, things can never get better, they've never gotten better for all of these years, I'm never going to be happy, and it doesn't ever get better. Those are your limiting beliefs. That's your lack of confidence and your lack of faith showing up. That's what you're being asked to fight against. And trust me, I know how hard it is. Like when I was in the darkest period of my life, I remember, and it was very hopeless. I mean, I literally felt like things were never ever going to improve. It felt like they weren't, not only were they not, but that they couldn't. And I have really, really learned through that period to dig deep and to show up anyway, despite the fact that majority of me felt like things were never going to improve. I showed up as if they could, and then eventually things did get better. So I know that it's hard to keep going when you've been struggling and fighting for so long, but I do feel like somebody out there is really needing to hear this message that if you keep showing up, if you keep believing that things can change for the better, that they're absolutely going to. Again, this feels like a very specific reading. I don't know. I feel like somebody out there really does need some relief when it comes to their situation. And I feel like this is what this reading is really trying to do, to provide you with a little bit of hope, a little bit of perspective, a little bit of relief. I mean, you literally have relief in the card. And to just know that, like I said, you're being heavily guided. Your path is heavily protected. You're headed in the right direction. I do feel like things are going to work out, or are even now working out better than it might appear. But I'm going to hop on over to the extended. We're going to dive deeper into these messages, looking at what you can do or need to do right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self. This reading was what you need to know. Extended, is what you need to do. Any information for that is in the description box below. Thank you so much, Aquarius, as always, for your support of my channel. I do obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing and all of the wonderful things that you deserve and desire on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Aquarius.